Hello everyone, welcome back to the Coding Explorer. This is Pradyumna and let us continue our exploration of the world of software. Before we begin, I hope that you watched my video on conditional statements in Python. Now, let me tell you the answer for the homework I had given. Let me remind you the homework. I had told you to create a password checking program that tells you have logged in if the password is correct, and it tells enter correct password if the password is wrong. So let us begin by creating a new Python file. I'll just name it as homework.py. So first we have to store a variable called password, and we have to say whatever is the password. So I'll just say it as ABC. So we have stored this. Now first we have to ask the password from our user. So let us just take password u. We cannot again take password because this variable will get modified. So we'll take the input from the user, enter the password. So after he enters the password, we have to check if the password is correct. So if we have to check if the password is correct, we have to check if the password is equal to password u. So this will check if our password which is there is the same as the password which is given by the user, and if it's true, it will just say you have logged in. But if it's false, we just say enter the correct password. You can also create integer type passwords, like instead of ABC you can name it as 123, and you have to remove these quotes, and here also you have to convert it into an integer format. So let us just run this. Enter the password. I'll just enter the wrong password for now. So it's telling enter the correct password. Now let me run it again. I'll just enter the correct password now. So you can see it decides if it's correct or not, and then it tells whatever you have to do. This is similar to what you see in your smartphones. So let us continue. We'll be learning about lists, tuples and ranges. They are used to store values in a sequence. They may or may not be mutable. That is, they can be modified or changed. Now let us start with lists. The syntax to declare a list is A is equal to, in square brackets, 1, which is the element. All these things are element. They are enclosed in the square brackets and they are separated by the comma. So 1, 2, 3 and 4 are elements of this list called A, and A is a variable. Lists are mutable, that is, they can be modified. So let us learn how to modify lists. That is, we learn about list functions. The first one is dot append an element. This is used to add an element to the list. An example would be a dot append 5. So this was our list, so here it will become comma 5. Then we will learn about dot count element. It will find the number of occurrences of an element, such as a dot count 2. If 2 occurs many times in the list, it will give how many times it has occurred. And then we'll use dot index of element. It gives the first occurrence of the element. Here you can see a dot index of 1. It will give it as 0 because in Python it always starts with 0 and not 1. You have to always use this dot because it indicates that it has to perform this function on this list or variable. Then we come to dot insert. here dot insert, we give the position of where we have to insert this element. This is not similar to append. Here it will add it to the last place, but here you can give where you want to append, where you want to insert it. So you have to just give a dot insert. Here you give the position 4 and 5. Then we'll learn about dot remove. Here it is used to remove the element at the first occurrence. So you can see a dot remove 1. So here it removes 1 and it only becomes 2, 3, 4, and therefore you'll not, even if you have another one after 4, that will not get removed. Then we have dot reverse. It is used to reverse the order of the list. So instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, it becomes 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we have sorting the list. We use a dot sort. So instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, if we have 3, 2, 1, 4, it sorts and again it becomes 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead of integer values, you can also have string or any other values you want. Now let us learn about tuple and their function. The syntax to declare a tuple is b, which is the variable, and then is equal to, in circular brackets you have to put 1, 2, 3, 4. These are elements. This is similar to a list, but here you can see that instead of a square brackets you are using circular brackets, and tuples are also immutable, that is, they cannot be modified. So the functions that you can perform on tuples are dot count of element. It again, here it gives the number of occurrences of element in a tuple. Example would be b dot count of 1. So again, here you have to give b dot count because you're performing this function on this tuple. So it gives it as 1 because it occurs only 1 in this tuple. So next we learn about dot index of element. It gives the index of the first occurrence of the element. Example will be b dot index of 1, which would be 0. As I told you, to start with 0 instead of 1 in any programming language. Let us learn about ranges and their functions. This is a little different from tuples and lists, because here only you have integer type values, and also they are declared not in a way that we had declared over here. Here we declare it as c is equal to range of 1, which is the starting position, and then comma 10, comma 2. The 10 will be the ending position and 2 will be the number of increase in steps. So if you give this, we will get the we'll store it as 1, comma 3, comma 5, comma 7, comma 9, because the number of increase should be 2. So it will become 1, comma 3, comma 5, and it will go on till it is less than 10. So it will only go up to 9, and after that, since it's greater than 10, it will stop at that. And ranges are also immutable, that is, they cannot be modified. Then we use dot index. Here we take index of this element. It gives the index of the first occurrence of the element. B, here it will be c dot index of 1. So wherever it occurs at the first occurrence, it will give here, and then number of count of the element. And here if you observe, instead of 2, which is a positive number, if we take a negative number which is -2 and change the ending number as -10, then we'll get it as 1, -1 and -3 until it goes up to -9, because it cannot go further. Today we won't be creating any program, but we'll execute and see how different functions of different list tuples and ranges work. So let us come back to PyCharm. We'll go to Python console instead of creating a new file or project. So let us just create a variable called L, standing for list. We should not give it as list because it will already be declared in Python. It will give an error or it might not work properly. So we'll just give L. So if you remember, we have to put a square bracket, and we have to give each of the elements that are there. I'll give fruit names just as an example to use strings. So mango, orange, guava. Now we'll just click enter. You can see that it's you can see it over here. Now we'll perform each of the functions that are there. So first we'll learn about append. So let us click L dot, we'll just append. Now we can append anything, so we'll be appending any name of a fruit. So I'll just give it as dragon fruit. So you can see that it got appended. Next we'll be learning about count. So L dot count. So we'll just take an example which is already there here, or you will get an error that it's not there. So I'll just give it as orange. So if we count, you can see that there's only one orange that is there. Next you get index. So let us just give L dot index. We'll find out the index of guava. As you can see that all should be in quotes, because this already should be stored as strings. So you can find that this is 2 because it is 0, 1, and this is 2. Now next we'll learn about insert. So let us just write L dot insert. So first we have to give the position. So let us put it after mango. So it should be 1 because this is 0, 1, comma, what we have to put. I'll just give it as any fruit name that is there. So we'll be adding this apple. So you can see it comes in this position and it's apple. Next we'll be learning about remove. So let's type L dot remove. We have to remove something which is already there. So let us just remove mango. So you can see that mango is gone, only the other elements are there. So let's go to the next. So we'll learn about reverse. L dot reverse. Here you don't give any argument. Argument is nothing but what we give inside this parenthesis. So because we need not tell anything to do, it's just reverse. So it will just reverse the order. So you can see that the order got reversed over here. Next we'll do sort. So since this is in the form of string, this it will arrange it in alphabetical order. If it was an integer type, it would have arranged it based on the numerical values. So let us just try it. So you can see that's sorted. Now we'll continue with tuples. So let us just create T is equal to tuple of you can see you can enter again anything. I'll just enter the same thing, which was mango, comma apple, comma guava. So you can see that this is a tuple and this is a list. Now let us use their functions. We'll learn about count. T dot count. Let us just count the number of apples. You can see it's 1 because there's only 1 over here. Then we'll find the index. So T dot index, so I'll give it as mango. So it is 0 because it starts with 0. Now let us continue with ranges. I'll give it as r is equal to range of. So I had explained that you have to give 3, or you can actually give only 1, which is I can give it as 10. So what happens here is the starting point and the step is automatically taken. The starting point will always be taken as 0 and the number of steps will be given as 1. So if we give it only r is equal to range of 10, let us just, so you can see it's in the form of range only. So what we have to do is convert it into form of a list of r. So this range which is there, it will get converted into list and get displayed. So you can see it as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 will not be included because it will only take numbers that are less than 10. Now we can also convert this into a tuple. So if you run it, you can see that this gets converted into tuple. So to convert one format to another, it's very easy. You can also convert a list, a tuple into a list. So we can just convert list of the tuple that is there, L of t. So you can see that converts into the list form. Now you can also convert the tuple into a list, or the list into a tuple. So we'll just convert it and see. You can see that they get converted from each place. Now let us create a different type of a range. So I'll just give it as r is equal to range of. I will start this from 1 and then I will give the ending as 10 or 100. Now even if I don't give the last number, which is the number of steps, it will automatically take it as 1. So for now I'll just give it as 10. So let us just click. So you have this here. So we'll just convert it to a form of a list of r. So it is 1, 11, 21. So you can see that it adds 10 at each interval and it goes till it is less than 100. So now let us check how to convert if we want it to be backwards. So we'll just create r is equal to range of. We should start it from 100. Then we will have to end it at 1, and then the steps that should be there should be minus 10. So it will automatically go backwards. So we have it over here. We'll just convert it into list form, list of r. So you can see 100, 90, 80, 70, 60. So it goes on till 10, and if it takes minus 10 again, it becomes 0, which is not which cannot be less than 1. So that is why it stops at 10. Now if we have to find the index, the number of elements in each of these, we have to use this function called len, and inside this len we have to give whatever is the variable. So if I give len of L, so you can see that it gives how many number of elements we have over here. Similarly we can do it for tuple. Here also you get how many are there. Now let me try it with range. So you can get it over here also. Now if you want to get whatever is the element at a point, like if you have to get what is there at the first element that is in list, you have to use L, which is the variable, and after that you have to put a square bracket. You have to give the index for which you are to find. So I'll just give it as 1, which is position of dragon fruit. So you can say so it is getting dragon fruit. We can do this for even tuples. So I'll give it as 2. because here the ending point is 2, so you can see it's guava. Then let us do it also for the range. R of 0, the first element that is there, which is 100, since it is from backwards. So if you also want to find from here from a position to another position, you can also do that. So if you take it as L, starting from 1 and end at this, so we'll just end it at 3. So you can see that you get these two, because this is not included, it has to be less than this. You can do this for all of these. So this is how all the functions that you can perform on strings, tuples and ranges, which we will be learning deeper and exploring more about it in the later classes. So let me give you the homework. I'll not be giving any homework for the program part. We'll just I asked you to revise the functions of list, tuples and ranges and perform different functions that we learned today, and you have to also convert them from each form to another. Now let me tell you an important note. You should use a list to store data which gets modified soon, as you can change it. But if you are using a data which does not modify, you have to use a tuple, because you do not need to modify it. Then also you have to use ranges whenever there's a pattern in numbers, so you need not use a list or tuple to make your task easy. Thank you everyone. Please learn, like, subscribe and share, and click on the bell button to receive my next videos. We'll be learning about for loops and while loops in the next class.